Welcome to the dumbest smart guy podcast on the planet. This is the Central Unintelligence Podcast.
Back with another episode. We figured it would probably be best to just do that Venezuela topic on its own fucking episode. So that's what this is going to be. And
in the words of Chris Jericho, things will never be the same
again. Anyways, this is the Central Intelligence Podcast. I'm Josh. He's Adam. If you want to follow us and see all of our other podcasts, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com. Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag, YouTube at Game Rage Magazine. All Gas No Trash official on Instagram. If you want to follow Adam, go listen and check out the All Gas No Trash podcast if you like music. It's conveniently located on the Game Rage Magazine podcast network. Anyways, I've been like making sure to get to the point on most of these shows now because I read a thing on Reddit that somebody brought up that they literally asked, "Hey podcasters, why does it take you so long to get to the fucking point?"
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh, interesting. So I wrote what this guy said, and he's like, man, all these, you know what? We'll leave that as a teaser for the BFN show episode because that doesn't apply here. So, and would be inverse of me trying to get to the point quickly because we're talking about the Venezuelan election. So go listen to the BFN show if you want to hear about that. Consider that part of the plug. Anyways, Venezuela. Jesus H. Christ. Holy corruption, Batman. Holy election interference, Batman. This just gets better and better as the days go on. For those of you that don't know, Venezuela just had an election. And strife with controversy even before the election happened. Because you had Nicolas Maduro, who is the protege of Hugo Chavez, who was
Juice himself?
The juice himself.
The juice is on the loose?
When he died, Nicolas Maduro was his like
secession of power.
Yes, that was his guy. He was the crown prince heir apparent, as they call it. So obviously in 2013 when he died, 2014 he wins the election. He's been through this, the first election, the second election. This is his third election to be elected to a third 5-year term. Okay. So the opposition put out this female candidate, Maria Corina Machado, and she was whooping his ass in the early polls. Like, she got like 85% of the primary vote to be the candidate to go against him. I mean, she like fucking whooped everybody, and she was on track to defeat him. So in June, Maduro takes a page out of old Saddam Hussein, fucking Putin's playbook, and he's like, hey, you know what? Actually, you can't run for president. And she's like, why? Oh, because here's the arrest warrant. You're being charged with corruption. So you're now barred from running for office. So they accused her of a crime and then said, oh, because we accused you of this crime, now you can't run for office. Genius. Fucking genius, man. So she's like, shit. What, fuck? So then she's like, fine, I'll get this other guy, Edmundo Gonzalez, right, who was the number 2. She's like, all right, we're going to put this dude in. You're going to be the one. This guy's like fucking 75 years old. He's like some old fucking asshole. I mean, they're all fucking old assholes. But anyways, this guy comes in.
Hold on, what's his name?
Edmundo Gonzalez.
Edmundo Joe Biden Gonzalez.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So he comes in, and they're going to have this election, and everybody is like, dude, we need to have outside observers. We need to have all this shit. So they do. They send in, supposedly all these people to watch,
What is the organization or the organization that observes elections in foreign countries? Is there an actual body that exists?
No, there really isn't, but you've got like a couple You got this thing called the Organization of American States, which is kind of like a loose European Union for like North and South America. Like we're a part of it. Any country in North and South America is kind of like a part of it. It's just like a, little organization to like oversee shit. But it's like NATO or not NATO, the UN. It has like no real power. Like no one, it's just for show.
Okay, so did they observe it?
So they supposedly had people sent there. So were some people from like Germany, I think, and like the European Union were also supposedly sent to observe this.
So it's not biased based on, for the people that are already here on the northern or southern Americas, whether there's bias in that or not, there would be a third party, the Europeans, to be objective as possible.
Completely impartial, as they say. So the National Electoral Council is the Venezuelan governmental organization that runs the election, right? Like that's who does it. And so I didn't actually know this, but what was very interesting is the way it works for voting in Venezuela. It's all digital. Completely digital. You walk into a thing, you do your stuff, you log in with whatever your fucking info is, and you push the button to vote whoever you want to vote for, and then you get a receipt, a printed receipt that shows who you voted for. Okay?
That sounds bad. That already sounds bad because not only do they have it in the system that you're a traitor, but they have it in paper so they can mark you and find out where you live.
Right, which is how they ended up fucking, getting all this shit to where they're at now. So there were a lot of the exit polling and the pre-voting polling showed that this guy, Edmundo Gonzalez, was gonna win by a large margin. Like he was gonna get like 70% or 75% of the vote. The exit polls had him at like 68%.
Good Lord.
With the vote, right?
A landslide.
Yeah, a landslide. So there's quiet. No one's and the thing that I thought was very weird is when you have this tabulation that's digital, the results are immediate. Like you don't have to count nothing. Like it's just an immediate. It's like a Twitter fucking poll. Like you see the results exactly as they're happening. So within an hour of the election being done, they would have the results, right? So within 30 minutes of the election being done, the polls all closing at a certain time, and that's it. And then they should have the results. Well, the guy who's the election campaign runner of Maduro comes out and says, okay, we're not allowed to say what the results are, but we can show you our faces. And he's like smiling, and you're just like, okay, automatically we know you guys are full of shit. So then the opposition comes out and they're like, yeah, hey, they're not telling us the results, but like we know from the exit polls and the pre-polls that we fucking won this shit. There's no doubt in our minds. So essentially, like a couple 3 hours goes by and just no word. Then finally, the National Electoral Council comes out and this dude walks out and he's like shuffling papers or whatever. And right before this, some fucking Gen Z dickhead who was working in one of the polling places or one of the headquarters of this shit, he takes a selfie with all of these like chicks that are in there with him, and he's like, oh yeah, look at us. And he's like, we're working in the thing and blah blah blah. Well, it shows all the screens that have all the fucking votes and shit on there with like all the little different areas, and there's red and then there's blue, and I don't know who was what, but the red side was like almost all the pies, and the blue side was like very small. And so I said, I wonder if that's like the real result that accidentally got leaked. Because when the National Electoral Council comes out, they said that Maduro won with 51.2% of the vote.
What a convenient number.
What a very convenient number.
Why not go like with a more convincing like mudslide victory to say, oh, I won unanimously, or rather, I won with the substantial majority. Why not go that route? Why make it a razor's edge fucking...
Personally, I feel like it's because they know no one's going to believe this shit. So they're like, if you're not going to believe that we won by a landslide, then we'll make this more believable that we barely won it. So all the people that are incensed and outraged at this nonsense, they go, well, shit, maybe we did just barely lose, because it's been well documented since Maduro took power in 2014 essentially there's been a mass exodus of Venezuelans from Venezuela.
Believable, yes.
And all of the opposition to him, they just leave. So it's more believable when you're trying to spin the lie that, well, all the people that are against me have already left. So, I mean, how could it be possible that you could win? Yes, I won by a small margin, but, that's because if the rest of you assholes would have been here, then I could have imprisoned you and made you vote for me, basically. So,
the lie is true if you believe it.
Exactly. Oh, and he believes it. So then they announce this and they say that, oh yeah, this is it, and everybody's losing their shit. All the Venezuelans are like, the fuck did you just say?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Real quickly, here locally in the United States, for people that are, it may be just the internet sphere altogether, there's people that are making videos about what's going on, and it's basically, it equates to thoughts and prayers and somehow getting people to make it about themselves. Like doing dances and shit. My God, what a time we fucking live in, dude.
Yeah, what a fucking time. And what's funny too is there's been a lot of protests here. Protesting the Venezuela. Go to fucking Venezuela. Why are you protesting here? What do we have to do with any of this shit? Maybe if you ask, listen, I'm saying this seriously, but like I don't mean to be. You know what? I kind of do mean to be inflammatory. If you asshole Venezuelans felt so strongly about this, why didn't you go back to Venezuela and vote, you fucktard? Then maybe this would have fucking been avoided. Or it would have been less believable that this happened. But instead, no. Now you're here protesting in New York and D.C. and fucking Miami and all over the fucking place. Who are you protesting to? Our government? We don't. What do we have to do with this? We didn't fucking rig this fucking election.
It's not true. I mean,
if we would have rigged it,
what stake do we have? Oh,
well,
there's money to be made.
Yeah, the stake that we have is we don't want Maduro in power because he's not pro-United States. They joined BRICS or whatever. Like Venezuela's in BRICS.
Well, they're part of OPEC, so that's probably more important at this point.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So why would we give a shit? And what's funny is immediately after this election is been announced that the final vote, Putin, Xi, and literally all the fucking BRICS people go, hey, congratulations, President Maduro, on your victory. It was well earned and very legitimate. Like that's the basically what
very
they said.
Cool, very legal.
It was the most legal. I think they said in an unprecedented election that was the most legal election in the history of Venezuela. Like
very cool, very legal.
Yeah, it was it was a based and legal pilled election. Like.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, they were sucking that ass so bad, and I'm like, well, yeah, obviously, because if the opposition was very vocal about pulling out of BRICS and pulling out of OPEC and essentially cozying up with the United States of America, and they can't have that, so they're like, nah, man, we got to make sure you don't lose this election, so man, you're gonna win.
You can't miss out on an opportunity for a disaster with so many people vehemently protesting Maduro. You know the Americans are like Birdman rubbing his fucking hands. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna send Robert Downey Jr. for his greatest role yet, dude, for an insurrectionist group. I'm a dude disguised as another dude.
Oh yeah, man, that's gonna be fucking hilarious. So it's very, I don't know, it's very strange to me that they thought this was gonna work with no repercussions, because there are a lot of repercussions currently going on.
Oh, he's gonna fucking end up dead, dude.
Well, he's either going to end up dead. Oh, I'm sorry. Venezuela's not in BRICS yet. They've applied for membership, and they're
one of the additional.
Probably 2025 they'll be. Or wait, did they have the 2024 meeting yet? I don't think so. But they're probably going to be accepted this year, which is why that fucking was talked about. So it's very funny that I saw this thing today, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes sense that the Wagner group like is protecting fucking Maduro. Like they're there giving him like Secret Service-esque protection against whoever. I mean, obviously someone's going to try to assassinate him for sure, because there's no way.
I'm surprised somebody didn't make the attempt when he was doing that Pueblo speech top of balcony. But
I don't think Venezuelans have guns, though. I don't think they have access to firearms like that. So I think that it's probably It's probably very difficult.
Isn't there some kind of number about revolutions within countries that all you need is 18 or 20% of the population to be in a state of disapproval for things to happen to overturn a government? I know there's something about that. You need 10 or 15%, or maybe it's 20%.
So
of people disproving the government to overthrow it. If the optics are bad enough, that they'll end up whatever government's in power will end up just getting overturned.
Yeah, and well, there's this thing that is always talked about, the 3%ers, right? It's this 3%er thing that's saying, oh, during the time of the American Revolution, only 3% of the population actually fought against the British government, right? It was only 3% of the population that were engaged in armed conflict. So there's this whole thing about, well, you only need 3% of the population to topple a government or to topple a nation.
Is it now, 3 or more?
Well, that's what I'm saying is the... man, I don't want to call it the Trumper thing, but like that's like kind of what it is. It's like a colloquialism, I guess. I don't know, like
to the U.S. or just in general.
No, just in general is what it's applied to globally, I guess. I don't think that's true. I don't think 3% is enough. I think you need, like you said, 15 to 25%. I think is the number.
I know there's something. I don't know if it's a phrase to talk about that specifically. I'm gonna look for it in the meantime, but go ahead.
The 25% revolution. How big does a minority have to be to reshape society? The tipping point is just 25%. So, 20. You can get 25% of the population on your side, you can overturn it. Now, if there were 60 fucking percent of the people that voted for fucking the other guy, well, that's more than enough. And essentially, since then, they've been having a lot of civil unrest, which is not uncommon for a situation like this to happen. I'm sure they're controlling the flow of information and turning off things and all this stuff, but how this gets even better is today, Nicolas Maduro challenged Elon Musk to a cage fight. I wish I was making this up. He literally said, I gotta find the fucking exact quote, but he was talking shit about, oh my God, Elon Musk accepted the fucking challenge. He said, Maduro, let's see. Maduro says, he's holding a cell phone as he declared war on Musk. He says, Elon Musk, you are desperate. You went off the rails. Control yourself or you will fail just like these right-wing led all-American politicians. Elon Musk, whoever messes with me dries up. Whoever messes with Venezuela dries up. Elon Musk, you want to fight? Let's have it, Elon Musk. I am ready. I am the son of Bolivar and Chavez. I am not afraid of you, Elon Musk. I like how he's always referring to him by his full name, Elon Musk. Let's go at it. Wherever you want, as we say in Caracas in the neighborhoods, if you want it, I want it, just say where. And he basically says, Elon Musk then responds to him on Twitter and says, I accept. And what's interesting is I saw these things, I gotta find it real quick, because there were these things that were being posted about it's that Elon Musk has been saying prior to this thing happening, which I kind of find weird because maybe this is a topic for no party preference. Yeah, you know what? Fuck, maybe it is. Maybe we can talk about this on no party preference. It's like the social media influence, because Elon Musk has he bought fucking Twitter and now controls it. And one of the things he did, well, like I said, we're going to do this on no party preference, but one of the things he did was he banned the account White Dudes for Harris because they raised $4.2 million for her in like 24 hours. So he banned the account, said it violated their terms.
He also banned the account that posted the photo of Trump's ear.
Yeah.
I think it was like a White House photographer, but banned him from the platform because they actually showed his ear. not significant damage or anything like
Right.
that.
And so that's kind of where this issue is with this is it's like, when does that become the line, right? And I think I've said this before about talking about freedom of speech or whatever, and it's freedom for me and none for thee, right? That's the attitude that is taken, and people lose their shit about social media censoring everybody and all this stuff, right? And this is where the line gets murky with the freedom of speech thing. And like I said, we'll do a whole episode on No Party Preference about this, but just as a little preview, do we trust billionaires to ensure our freedom of speech? Because what happens when our freedom of speech disagrees with theirs? I think we're starting to see the example of what happens when you don't agree with the billionaire who controls the platform. And I don't think there is such a thing as a benevolent billionaire. But maybe there is. I don't know. Like I said, tune into No Party Preference. The next episode, we'll talk about this specifically in depth. But Maduro, Elon Musk, gonna fight. I'm sure Dana White's gonna try to be like, yo, let's do this in a fucking octagon. And the UFC will fucking host this. Sanction this shit, and you guys can fight for... It would be funny if Elon Musk did clap back and say, fine, I will challenge you to a cage match, but the winner becomes president of Venezuela. That would be fucking funny. I would do that. And listen, I think fucking, what's his name? I don't know how old fucking Elon Musk is, but Maduro's like in his 70s. I don't think he should be fighting anybody. I think he's just going to get his ass beat. Or, hey, maybe we do a Game of Thrones style, trial by combat, and they each pick a proxy, and then fucking they go at
have an avatar.
Yeah, like they pick the proxy or whatever they're called, like, and then they fight, and then whoever wins is the winner, man. Like, that'd be hilarious. But as it sits today on, the 1st of August, their country is in complete turmoil. Riots in the streets. The police have been killing civilians. So has the military. The military generally seems loyal to Maduro at least now. The majority of them are. Because once you lose the loyalty of the military, that's it for you as a dictator. You're done.
That's the part I don't understand, because they're supposed to be serving the country itself, right? Or the people. So why, if they knew it was a problem to have a dictator to be in this position, yeah, dude, I'm sure they're getting sweet talked with all these benefits and shit. Oh yeah, we'll take care of your family. We'll give you X amount of money. We'll put you in a nice house and all this shit to have your loyalty, right?
Right.
Why would you take that though for the security of the nation itself? That's like making a deal with the devil. Like why not fucking put the people first? Because then once eventually, like, every dictatorship falls apart, and then you're on the outs.
Right. And what's funny is people always want to say this shit about if the U.S. president became a dictator, the military would take him out immediately and restore order. Historically, that's never what fucking happens. I mean, sometimes it does, but overwhelmingly, the dictator maintains power because the military supports him. Or the majority of the military commanders support him, and you get the lower enlisted and the lower ranked grunt guys that are going to be doing the majority of your killing for you. You get them on your side by saying, hey, this is shit. We can offer your family safety. We can offer your family, your family will be fed. And when you are faced with a decision like that, a lot of people go for the safety of what you know. Hey, I know that this guy's going to give me this stuff when he stays in power. If he loses power, I might not get to have these things anymore. And I might go back to struggling and being in a bad situation. So if you apply that logic here, if this were to happen here, yeah, you would get a contingent of people who are like, no, we defend the Constitution of the country and we fight for the people. We don't serve a dictator here. Yes, you'll have a contingent of those. But if the overwhelming majority of them are like, hey, man, it sucks out there because we're in like a civil war right now, let's just say, I don't think I'm going to fucking lose this gig. I'm going to make sure this guy stays in charge because as long as he's in charge, my family's going to be safe. My family will get fed. And now eventually the dictator will do things that eventually even make those guys go, all right, man, you got to go, which is how most dictatorships end up ending. So...
yeah, at some point, I mean, a rational human being or a person with any sense of morality. I don't know. You start raising an eyebrow if you end up killing people that didn't really deserve it, right? Like if you
Right.
But then there are also people that don't have that lack of judgment, that it's not really an issue for them. So
True. So who the fuck knows? But
just another fucking Wednesday in 2024.
I didn't have any of this shit on my fucking bingo card. I mean, who the fuck, like, again, I know this has become a meme, but it's kind of true. Like, if you're a fucking millennial, when the fuck are we gonna stop living through, like, literal once-in-a-lifetime events? Once-in-a-lifetime events have happened essentially since 9/11.
Sequentially,
It's been, like,
consistently.
Non-stop with these fucking events. And to me, 9/11 was when the timeline truly changed to the worst fucking timeline.
Yeah.
That was it. It's over. The timeline has now been tainted, and it will eventually lead to the timeline's destruction, which is beginning to play out now in depth 20 fucking something years later, 25 years later.
Our fate was sealed when Harambe died.
Oh yeah, we did have a chance. The Bengals could have fucking reverted the timeline, but Joe Burrow failed. And now we're fucked. Forever. Harambe fucking ruined it. Anyways, all right, fuck, that's good enough. You got anything else to add?
No.
All right. Well, anyways, well, fuck. Jesus. The cat almost killed herself. I gotta go up there and fix that. All right, well, go to GameRageMagazine.com to hear all our stuff. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag, YouTube at Game Rage Magazine, All Gas No Trash official for Adam if you want to follow him, and go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast. Anyways, that'll do it for us. Hopefully the cat's not dead, and I guess we'll see what happens next time.
That was the latest episode of the Central Unintelligence Podcast. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. We're also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com.